Hey guys, what is up? Fluffy Ninja from Warp Crew Paintball and War Sports Chicagoland here with a, I guess, field review. I think I did one of these about Blast Camp like a while ago, or maybe I did it about Knox. I don't remember which. If it is, I'd probably have to update it. But so the other day on Sunday, Krista and I went to Power Paintball, which is an indoor field in Lombard, Illinois. It's about 30 minutes from us, so that was pretty nice being able to go to a field that's not that far. Traffic wasn't horrible. There was some construction. Apparently, people going north on 294 think the speed limit is a thing, which is weird. But, getting there wasn't bad. The location is, really easy to find. It's pretty much in the middle of a strip mall. I think it used to be either a gym or just like a warehouse or something like that. So, we went there a while ago. We had to go up to Paintball Explosion to pick up a donation, and coming back, we were like, oh, let's stop at Power Paintball. Like, Chris was like, I want to check it out, because I keep hearing good things. We keep being invited to it, and I haven't been there, so let's go check it out. And I was like, yeah, for sure. It was Sunday, probably about 11:30 when we got there. I think they open at noon, or maybe they open at 10 o'clock, I don't remember. But we got there, and there was a private party already in there, and we walked in like right behind them, so they assumed that we were part of the private party, and we're like, oh no, we're just random players. Like, we haven't been here before. We have, a big scenario team. We keep hearing about this place, and this would be, just a good place to play during the winter, or, like just when weather is total shit. So we came to check it out, and they're like, oh, awesome. And then one of the owners, I think it's split between two people. I don't remember their names. I apologize. One of them was like, well, let me show you around. Like, the private group is done with their game. I'll just walk you around the field, and we'll take you into the back, and we'll show you just everything that we're doing and what we want to do, and just a whole bunch of really neat stuff. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So we walked around the field. They've got like LED lights up just in case they want to shut off like the overhead lights, because they do have overhead lights which are protected by netting. But they've got these LED lights. I think they're in like hard casing to where like they can't be broken if they're shot, which if you shoot at them, you're a dickhead. But he's showing us around. I'm walking the field. It's just one field. Can be split into two, I think, so that's kind of cool. It's got the the center beams or the support beams or whatever, but that it doesn't really matter because it's not a speedball field, it's a scenario field, which is really cool. It's it's like a little town almost. It's kind of like a kill house, actually. Now that I think about it, it's pretty similar to what that would be. I know there was a MagFed game there like not too long ago, and we got invited, and we're like, oh, we would go, but there's just gonna be one guy there with a shield, and it's gonna suck. So, we decided not to go. So, we get there, he's showing us around the field, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool for an indoor, like, holy shit. And he's like, yeah, come on back. And he opens, like, the back, like, bay doors, I guess, and there's, like, a whole nother giant fucking hallway, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, this is where we get, like, paint deliveries and stuff like that. And, because they're, like, right next to a Jewel Osco, basically, so they have the area behind them in order for like a paint truck to just pull up and back in. Like, they have that space, so I think that's kind of cool. He's like, oh, and then this room, it's like a big lounge area almost, it's like they, like if they're like, I really don't want to deal with customers right now, like I just want to sit and chill for a little bit, or if it's dead and like one or two people are up front and they're like, all right, everybody else go back there. I'm not really sure what the whole purpose was, but it was, just kind of a big couch area, big TV on the wall. I think there was a gaming system hooked up to it. I'm not sure which one, I don't remember. But it's just kind of a sit and chill area, and that's really cool. He walked us like down the hall. He's like, yeah, this is where this, and this is where this. He's like, and I kind of want to do this back here, where it would be like this area alone, like even though it's like a very small area, would be perfect for like a little 50 cal field. For like if kids, under 10 are coming, and you've got like 10 of them, 20 of them. It's like, oh yeah, we'll just do a little field here because kids are scared to move up. Kids are, they're not, they're just not gonna play paintball as balls to the wall as we do. So it would be kind of cool if you did that, or like you talk about, Nerf battles and like just all types of stuff that would be super awesome to see. So he takes us through all that, but like that was really cool. But when you walk into this field, it's basically like you're walking into a grocery store. There's doors on either end, but then there's big like center doors you walk in. They have like a couch out front. They had a grill like the other day because they did a cookout for like back to school stuff. They're surrounded by schools and colleges, so they've got a bunch of clientele that come from those. And they do like really cool things. Like the other week they did like free back to school haircuts. I think one of the assassins was like the barber. He, did a great job. There was a ref there when we were there on Sunday. They got a cut from him, so that was kind of funny. It's a really wholesome place, which is kind of nice. But you walk in, and then like immediately to your right, there's a giant lounge area and a TV on the wall, which it's like the parents that are there, but they don't want to play. They don't really want to be super involved in their kid playing paintball, but it's like, well, I'm not just going to leave him here, so I'll just sit on the couch and watch TV. They have like beanbag things set up, or cornhole games set up, so that was kind of cool. They were like, oh yeah, we do like competitions and tournaments and shit, like it's awesome. And I was like, wow, all right. They've got like a little counter area with like snacks and drinks, and then they've got like some guns up on the wall. It's mostly people that bring their stuff in. There was like a die dam on the wall with a box mag, and the guy wanted way too much money for it, but that's his business. But it is kind of cool. They do that. Like they probably took it in trade for whatever else the guy wanted. So that was pretty cool. And then there's like a netted area, and then you go in, and that's like the I guess like the staging area. It's got picnic tables. It's got like turf on the ground, so if you're dropping paintballs and stepping on them, like every paintballer does. I did it, I don't know how many times, and I had a box mag in front of me that all I had to do was like scoop paint into, and I fucked that up. So it's not too bad. Like they've got the picnic tables. They've got the chrono range in like the way back. Couple notes about that, like if this video gets to them, if they Google themselves, which maybe they do, I don't know, or if they YouTube themselves or whatever. A little note about the chrono range: take down the metal because it's super loud indoors. Just put up like a sheet of canvas or whatever to catch the paint, and like if you got to get rid of it, you get rid of it, or you power wash it, or what the hell ever. The ground right there is like, all chrono ranges are super gross. That's just kind of what they are. But this was like tile floor with just paint souped on it. I mean, it's not a bad thing because you're not going to walk out there. I launched a fucking swab out there that I forgot was in my barrel, so I'm not going to get that back anytime soon, which is fine. But take down the metal, maybe put up like the canvas, or like just netting, like loose netting, to where when the paint hits it, like you can have targets up, but just don't have like the metal, like sheet metal almost, or not sheet metal, but like siding, basically like aluminum siding, and it was just hitting that. It's fucking loud, dude. And there's a kid in there that like he's trying to figure out his gun, so he's shooting a rope at a time for no reason, and it's ding, and you're just like, oh my god, like trying to have a conversation when that is going on, or like when the rental guns go in there, like, let's waste all our paint because our parents paid for it and we don't care. And just rental guns alone, the sound annoys me if they're just shooting for no reason. So yeah, like that's just like maybe just make sound not proof but sound improve that area. Maybe that would be just like one of my tips on that. The other thing too, for chronoing, when we got there, we were not chronoed by a referee. We had to chrono ourselves. A couple people never even stepped into that chrono range, so I don't know how the hell they knew what they were shooting at. There was one guy that was definitely shooting hot. I have the rope on my back to prove it, and when we asked the ref, it's like, hey, maybe we should chrono everybody, that guy packed up his shit and was ready to leave. So that's a little suspicious. Like, we were getting ready to leave, and we were like, hey, just, you got more players coming in, some kids, just chrono everybody just because. And she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, hey everybody, we're gonna chrono," and then the guy like takes his gun apart, and I'm like, "You dick." But put up signs where your chrono range is for your feet per second and your BPS limit. They were on a whiteboard behind the rental counter, which if I'm not renting a gun, I'm not looking at that, so I don't care. But if you put the signs up, put like 3 of them up. Like, put one like when you're looking at the entrance, or not looking at the entrance, but like looking at the doorway to go out of the staging area. Put one there. Put one outside the chrono range, and then put one inside the chrono range too, just because. Like, that would just be the best solution for that. Is my tip for that. Just feet per second, BPS, and just put it in like 3 locations. That's it, really. Like maybe put it on front of the counter where you're putting up rental guns, because again, it was behind the counter on a whiteboard, and the field speed is 240. That's fine for an indoor. I don't know. I think we played 270 at O'Hare. We played 300 at Midwest, because it was, we were there for practice. But, just if you're going to have an indoor and you're going to, have a lot of younger kids, like, make sure that that's posted, so that way people that are not regulars know what the field speed is, know what the BPS limit is, just because. Again, I've been in paintball for a long time. The guy that was shooting hot, I don't know if he was ramping. It's really hard to tell, but also I know a lot of people can't shoot that fast, so that's why I'm like, I think he's on PSP. I'm not going to say anything about it, because I don't care, but their rules state that they're supposed to be semi-fire or semi-auto only, so that's just, yeah. So 240 and then semi-auto, which, yeah, they allow, full auto and ramping in private parties, which is really nice. The field played really nice. The field played really good. Like, whatever, they were like, oh, you start over here and start over here, start in the corners. Like, they switched it up, so it was really nice. It played really well. A lot of the stuff on the field's really cool. They put like just random masks in windows. So you're like, oh, it's covered in shit, so it's probably not a dude. So it's really cool. They use like armband tape, which, I mean, it's a cheap alternative, but I mean, get yourself some armbands. I'm not saying like grab team tags, but if you want to support team tags, that would be cool. But just get like Velcro armbands, so that way you're not, just burning through tape like 10 rolls a weekend. Maybe, like, that's a high assumption, but that's just get armbands. Order like maybe 500 of them. I mean, I know it's a big investment, but it's like your field can only support so many players at one time, so that's something. And I say that only because I was friendly fired so many times while not on the armbands team. So I think the armband needs to be a little bit bigger, so that way my team knew who they were shooting at. Because I would clear one side of the field, come around, raise and wave my hand like you do when you're like, hey, I'm friendly, fucking yeah, and then immediately I get shot, and I'm like, god damn it. That's fine, whatever. I've been shot literally millions of times, so I don't care. But it's like, when I literally clear the this side of the field, don't shoot me. That's just rude. So that was really cool. That, like, again, these are just some notes and like a kind of review. And if you're thinking about playing there, absolutely do it, because it was a hell of a lot of fun. Then a little bit later, one of the guys that is friends with Krista on Facebook, she posted on Instagram, Facebook, oh, we're going to Power Paintball. He showed up just because of that, so that's really cool that she is able to reach and then connect to that many people that are like, oh fuck, I'll go play paintball, sure. Like, that was really neat, getting to meet him. Super cool guy, super smart, like electrical, mechanical engineer, I don't know. Later, a guy that was a chemical engineer, came in, and those two like fucking hit it off like dynamite. Like, holy shit, they just I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about like 90% of the time, but I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah, paintball, explosions. I'm not anywhere near educated enough to talk with those people ever, but it was really cool how well they hit it off. Speaking of that guy that's the chemical engineer, he literally stopped by just to talk to people there about him getting back into the sport. Like, just checking out people's gear, checking out the field, checking out the play. Like, he wasn't there to play, he was just there to talk to people, pick people's brains. And he ran into me, which is, like, literally the most fortunate thing that he could have done. Like, I'm not tooting my own fucking horn here, but toot goddamn toot. I have been in paintball for 16 years, about to be 17, so, I have been in this sport a very long time. I played one time when I was 9. I was obsessed with it until I was 10 years old and got to play by myself, and it was awesome. That's just, I love the sport of paintball. I love the people that I get to meet, and I love how passionate other people can be. There's a lot of people in the sport. Good friend Cupcake, he went to a tournament the other day, and there was a guy there that's been in the sport even fucking longer, like since the first game of paintball was played. Like, he wasn't one of the original people that played, but he was like in the next group pretty much. And he's talking about this guy and 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 every big name in paintball that you ever heard of. He's known them, he's met them, he's helped them with projects. He was helping test stuff for, Air America and Bud Orr, and like, he was one of those guys that was just involved in the start of paintball, and that's amazing. And I would love to meet him, shake his hand. I'm sure I have met him, but shake his hand, talk to him for probably about 6 hours about nothing but paintball, and I don't think that would be enough. But this guy met me, and he's like, well, I have an X7, and I'm just, every bit of knowledge about an X7 that I know, and he's like kind of what he knows still about it. And he's like, well, what do you have? And I pull out the MG100, and he holds, he's like, this is fucking cool. He shoots actual firearms, so when he saw that and he saw the box mag, he's like, what is that? Can I touch it? And I'm like, absolutely. So he just, wow, this is cool. And I'm like, you want to go into the corner range? Here's my mask. Go and shoot. He's like, no, that's fine. He's like, I'm really just here to talk to people, not play with anything. Just, I want to talk to people. I want to know. I want to get knowledge and know and, just learn, so that way when I decide to come back, I have all the information that I need. And I just rattled off like probably 20 minutes worth of shit that I could fit in that time that would help him when he decides to either go buy a new marker or bring back his X7 and, what upgrades or what he wants to do to it to make it, shoot as well as he can. Like, just, holy shit, this guy was so excited to get to talk to somebody that knew this much. And then the other engineer guy knew a lot about autocockers, pumps, and all like the mechanics, mechanical engineer, the mechanics of paintball. So he's talking to him, and they're going back and forth. They're talking about the Tippmann propane gun, and they're like, fuck, we should make one. And I'm like, it's been done. What the hell are you doing? Like, it's insane, like, what these two guys went at, and like, him and I were able to talk. It's like, as long as we dumb it down to paintball or level, I can keep up. But other than that, he was fucking way over my head. And then like a younger player came in, and he's wearing a ghillie suit, and we're at an indoor field, and I didn't want to be like, bro, what? I thought it was awesome. I would like, this kid was ready for war, and it was awesome. Well, he was ready for paintball, because people don't die in paintball, people die in war. But he was ready for paintball. He was ready to have the greatest day possible. Him and his dad sit right next to us. His dad's not going to play, which is fine, but his dad is in the staging area, helping him get ready, helping him gear up, and watching him play whenever he's on like the side closest to where he was sitting. And he pulls out I want to say it was like a U.S. Army, whatever the M16 variant is of their paintball markers. I don't remember any of those guns, but he pulled out that. He's got a remote line. He's got a pod pack, and his dad is like filling his pod, and he puts it in his pack, and like there's space. Like every paintballer knows the space. But like when you first started playing, you didn't want to break any paintballs, right? So you left space so that way, they wouldn't be too squished in there. And I go, oh, you might want to fill that a little bit more. He goes, why? And I'm like, well, if you leave too much space in there, they'll rattle and they'll break. And him being in a ghillie suit doesn't want them to rattle because that's a lot of noise. And Dad goes, yeah. And Krista's standing there and she's got a pod. And she goes, here, what you do, fill it a little bit over, put your hand over it, shake it down, and then go to close the lid. If there's one or two that are too much in there, take them out and shut the lid. There might be a little bit of pressure, but they're flexible enough. They won't hurt them for an hour. Especially just playing rec ball, it's totally fine. And he was like, oh, it's a really good idea, and just thanking us already. And the kid is like, he's so excited to play paintball, and that's like one of the things that brings me so much joy in this sport is when kids are excited to play it, because it doesn't happen a lot. Is let's go play Fortnite, let's go play dumb shooting video games, or that everybody's blaming for political reasons, or let's go play on an iPad or watch TV or whatever. Like, he was excited to play paintball. He was ready to do it as best to his ability. And it was awesome. It really, really was. And I can't wait to either see that young man at a different field, or see him there again and hopefully talk him into, well, why don't you come to Blast Camp? It's an outdoor field. It's a scenario game. I think we talked to them that it was bring your own paint for the Purge game, and that this field's doing this and this field's doing this, and his dad's sitting there listening, like, oh yeah, I'll look into it, I'll check it out and stuff like that. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. It's like this sport is expensive, absolutely, but if your dad is willing to bring you and sit with you and help you go out and play, like, you hit the fucking lottery, man. You really did. So he comes out to play with us, and he sees the MG100, and they'll do it later, just in case you want to. And he goes, really? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, man, go nuts. And he's like, okay, sure. So we play a game, and I'm up front, like kind of midfield, really. Like, we got spawn trapped, I'll say that, but I was, one of the furthest people up, and I'm at like the center building. It's a pretty big square building, so a couple people come around the other side. I duck into a doorway, I'm shooting at them, and one of them, who is shooting an EFA 2, goes after the kid. And thankfully he wasn't one of those guys that just puts rounds on him. He like kind of crept up behind him, and there's a pistol guy shooting at me. I plink at him, he runs out of ammo, and I fucking book it. And as I'm coming around, the kid looks at me, and the kid with the EFA is like, what the? And I just annihilate him, like 5 or 6 on him, because he's that close to that little kid. And, I take him out, take out the guy with the pistol, and then the kid with the Lux hits me in the leg, and only one of them broke, which again sucked. And call myself out, and then I stand on that side of the field, because I don't know where the ref was, but like clearly he knew who was winning, so I don't know why he didn't move with the game. That's what we got taught to do when I refed. But I'm standing there, I got my hand on my head, and I've got my gun in the air, and I'm watching the kid. Kid gets hit in the hand by this guy with the Lux. Like, thankfully, I mean, he was tearing his fucking bunker apart, but one ball snuck through and hit him. And I'm like, oh, players out, whoa! And the guy stopped shooting, and like, dude, if you're playing open plate, bring it down a little bit. Like, Jesus. Like, again, that's another video that I'll probably have to do, because nobody really gets that. But kid gets out, and I'm like, whoa, game. And I'm pulling him out, because I know he's the last one. Um, and he goes, "Oh man, that sucked getting shot in the hand." I'm like, "Yeah, that's probably one of the worst spots. That's for sure." And he's like, how'd you get shot?" And I was like, "Saving you." He's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Turn around." And he turns around. The two guys are still like, like they're not, right where they were, but they're, just walking off the field. And he goes, "Were they behind me?" And I'm like, "Yes, they were." He goes, "Oh, thanks." He gives me a fist bump. And we walk off the field, make sure he's got his barrel stock on, stuff like that. And we're getting ready to leave because I'm getting kind of sick of, ramp on rentals guy. So, I tell him, I'm like, "Hey, you know what? You want to come into the Chrono range and shoot the MG with the box man?" He goes, "Oh, absolutely." Take him in there, and I'm like, just setting it up for him. I'm like, "Here, that's it." And he just like, he gets on it, which is awesome. And he's like, "Wow, that's really cool." He's like, "It doesn't even kick like my gun. Mine kicks super hard." I'm like, "Well, it's because it's a little bit more advanced than what you got, but it's it's still not super expensive. So if you're looking to upgrade, I'll absolutely give you recommendations." And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." Go back out to the staging area, and I'm like packing up my stuff, taking off my gear, and he's like, "Hey, what gun is that?" And I'm like, "It's the Planet Eclipse MG100. They're about $500 ish. I don't know. I don't pay full price for anything, but fucking brag about it. But I'm like, it's about this much. You can get them, in like packages or whatever. So it's going to be a little bit more." I was like, "Or you can get the EMAC." He's like, "What's that?" And I pull it up on my phone and show him. He goes, "Oh, it looks like a speedball type gun, like that guy was shooting." I'm like, "No," I was like, "It's still semi-auto, just pull the trigger and it shoots, kind of like your gun, kind of like this thing, but it's a lot lighter than what you've got." And he goes, "Yeah, it looks smaller." And I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. You don't need, 10-pound gun. Like, I'm sure that gets super heavy after playing for a couple minutes." He goes, "Yeah, it really does." I'm like, "So yeah, look into this. If you go to a field or a store, or like even here, I'm sure they would, take your stuff in trade towards it. You might have to pay a little bit, but not too much." And he goes, "Okay." And his dad's like, "Yeah, we'll look into it. Absolutely." He's like, he really likes how yours looks because it, looks kind of, I'm like, "Yeah, I know." I was like, "But this is better. This is perfect for beginner players and even for people that have been playing for a long time. Like, this is perfect for him." And he goes, "Okay." And I was like, "And you can get a loader with it that works with, like the system they have. Like, you got to research it, but it's a really cool starter and just mechanical marker in general." And he's like, "Okay, sure, yeah, we'll look it up." And he's like, "Maybe for your birthday or maybe for Christmas or whatever, like just something like that." Just, it really hits you when the dad's like, "Maybe we'll, maybe for Christmas." Like that's awesome. That like that's in that kid's future. So it's really, really cool. But we pack up, we get ready to leave, and he brings out radios. He goes, "Hey, do you want to take a radio for when we go back out there?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, bud. We're getting ready to leave. Like, that's why I don't have my gear on anymore." He goes, "Oh, okay." I was like, "But next time, absolutely." He's like, "Awesome." He's like, "I hope I come back when you're here too." I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." I'm like, "I'm not sure when we're coming back, but when we do, I hope you're here." And so that was really cool. So like that was my experience playing at Power Paintball, and it was really great. It really was. There's always the one guy that's got to go a little bit above and beyond. Like he thinks he's in tournament practice, and like, dude, you couldn't even make a D5 win. Sorry, but like other than that, it was really cool. We cycled through refs kind of weirdly. We had like the dude in the morning. He was super cool. He wanted the box mag for his whatever he had. And then like a female came in. She refed. She was really nice and cheery. She walked along with the game. So did the first guy. The third guy, not really. The third guy was kind of like, "It's Sunday, I don't want to be here." But you're a paintball ref. That's your, 1 to 2 to 4 days of work, depending on if you're open during the week, man. Like, that's your time to work, dude. Sorry. I know you've been at school all week or been at another job all week, but if you want to be a paintball ref, man, your weekends are gone. Sorry. So he was just a little bit more, I don't know, less enthusiastic would be a good phrase, I guess. But he was still a decent ref. So we're getting ready to leave, and for most of this season, I have used one marker bag. I've used my push bag, I throw my guns in it, and I'm good to go. My MG100 is in a rifle bag that I purchased on Amazon. It was like $30 maybe. So I've got my rifle bag in my hand. Somebody asked me a question, so I set it down. I have my push bag, on my shoulders, and then Krista hands me the pod bag with, our dirty clothes and stuff in it. So I grab that in this hand, and she's like, all right, you ready to go? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, and we go. Put everything in the car, get home, don't even think about it. Probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I'm still up, I'm gonna go grab the stuff from the car. Go to the car, push bags on my shoulders, pod bag, and I go, what? Wait a minute. I shut the hatch, and I'm like, what the? I might have brought it in when we came home, just because I didn't want to leave it in the car. Go upstairs, look in the paintball room. No, it's gone. I don't have my MG100. I don't have my rifle bag with my brand new MG100. All my mags, all the attachments that I use for the weekend loadout and stuff like that. And I just go, fuck. Like, just, god damn it. I left it at the field. They're closed. It's Sunday, which means tomorrow's Monday. No one's gonna be there. And I look on their site, and it's like, oh, open for, private groups maybe, or open for, if you want to stop in. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll give them a call. So about 10 o'clock, I call just a number on Power Paintball, like on, Google or whatever. And it goes like, Power Paintball, and I think this is the Wisconsin location that isn't open, or is under construction, or is doing something that, like, they're not available right now. But he's like, Power Paintball, how can I help you? And I'm like, hey, yeah, I was at your Lombard location, just so we narrow it down. And I'm like, and I believe I left a marker there. It's in a rifle bag. Can I come get it? And he goes, well, this isn't that location, but if you call the number for their location, which if you just, look for a second, you'll find it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, he doesn't say that, but, like, he's like, you can find it on our website. And I'm like, okay, cool. He goes, they should be there around 3:30ish to 4 o'clock. And I'm like, okay. Around 3 o'clock, I called him, and I'm like, hey, this is the Lombard location? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, I'm the manager. And I'm like, okay, great. I think I left my marker there. It's in a rifle bag. It's got this, this, and this, just so I describe exactly what I'm looking for. So if he looks in the bag, he goes, yep, that's here. He goes, well, I'm not there yet. I'll be there at around 4 o'clock. Give me a call around then, and then I'll let you know. Give him a call. He's like, yep, there's a bag here. It has an MG100 in it. It's got a bunch of attachments and stuff. He goes, he's like, it looks like everything's here. You're going to have to confirm that. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. I was like, can I pick it up today? He goes, absolutely. He's like, we're here until like 6, maybe 7. And I'm like, great. Jump in the car and go. Get there, and it's the manager / one of the other owners, I think. I don't know. We were introduced to him the first time we went there, and I think he said that he was a part owner. And he goes, hey man, yeah. He's like, you left here yesterday? And I'm like, yep. And he goes, that it? And I'm like, that's it. I open it up, and I'm like, everything's there. And he goes, great. Sorry you left it here, but glad that we can get it back to you. I'm like, absolutely. And I talked to him going, this was our first time playing here. Had an absolute blast. This is great, this is great, this is great. The paint. And he goes, he knows that's what I'm going to complain about, because I'm not a newer player, so like, oh, I don't know. But I'm like, that particular paint, just the GI custom blend with the red and black shell, is just not good. And he goes, that's what we've been hearing. And I'm like, and I'm not just saying at your guys' field. We've used it at other fields. and it's not good. And he goes, well, at least it's not just us. And I'm like, no, I talked to GI, see if you can get, like the combat stuff or the field stuff or whatever. Like one of the other players here gave me some field that he got here before, and it shot amazing. He goes, okay. He's like, we're looking into getting better paint. It's just, it's just getting it. And I'm like, absolutely. I was like, other than that, totally satisfied customer. I can't wait to bring all the people that I know here during the winter and even before that. And he goes, great. Hope to see you soon. And that was it. That was Power Paintball, man. This is a long-ass video. I know. But the experience there was worth telling. The experience there was worth spending this much time on the video and having to edit it together and it probably taking forever to post. But the experience was worth it. It was an absolutely phenomenal field. I can't wait to go back. 30 minutes away instead of driving like maybe an hour to Blast Camp or 2+ hours to Knox to spend the same price on paint. I would, 30 minutes is much better for me, I think. We used to go to Fun Time. It wasn't a fun time, but, cheap and it was close. So, it was, that's why. But having a place that's also close, a little bit higher pricing, but worth it, absolutely. Like, I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to, see that younger player again, see, the older guys there that wanted to, or the older guy that wanted to get back into paintball. He was, a little bit older than I was, probably. But, I can't wait to, see him back playing paintball. Hopefully he goes back there. Can't wait to see, the new friends that we made and stuff like that. Like, that's paintball, man. Like, that's paintball. Is trying a new field, meeting a bunch of new people, and walking away with friends. Like, that's the greatest feeling in the world. And especially that younger player with his dad there, and hopefully next time his dad plays, that's something that I always try to make happen. There's been a few times that I've gone to fields and the dad, pays for everything and just kind of sits in the truck or sits at the picnic table, and I go, "What? How come you don't play?" He's like, "Oh, I didn't bring stuff," and I was like, "Just rent stuff. It's a couple extra bucks, I know. I don't know, financial situation, but it's if you brought your kid to play paintball, I think it'd be more fun for him and for you if you played. Like, that's an experience that not everybody gets to have. So that's something that, if you have the opportunity, definitely do it. So, thank you guys very much for watching. I know this was a super stupid long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I really do. And then I hope if you're in the area, you try Power Paintball. And I hope that you have as good of an experience as I did, if not better. Thank you guys again, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.